here to buffer, and then we'll do the open. I've got a little bit of news for you, Travis.
You have a little bit of news?
I have a little bit of news. Somebody has
Okay.
asked me to teach not just their kids, but a whole class of homeschool kids about current events.
Oh.
They want me to be a teacher.
Okay.
I assumed you would think that was hilarious
Um,
because
well,
I actually
I
study
mean,
the hell out of this shit.
well, okay, and like my thing with that, like if you have enough knowledge, which you do, then yeah, if someone wants you to teach their kids, then make sure and teach, but also keep it open enough that they can form their own opinion on either side,
Well, that is my
not
entire
just your side.
philosophy. That is entirely my whole philosophy because, like, so first of all, it took me a long time to get to where I am now, from where like my father was and my stepmother was, and the people who kind of like taught me things. Um, because, for example, there's a book that I think we may have talked about before called The Healer by F. Paul Wilson. And I've had some friends read it, and we had like a discussion about it. And I'm like, how much of that book is just me? They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that entire book is basically a manifesto on liberalism wrapped up in this awesome story about a guy who like fights aliens and stuff. And they're like, yeah, I didn't get that at all. Like, at all. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're literally talking about toll roads in the book and about how why should they be used for tax money to do a thing that you only use twice a year instead of just paying for that and this other thing and this other thing, and they're like, oh, this was like your book, like this was your book when you were a kid to get stuff. I'm like, yes, this is exactly it, 100%. And they're like, yeah, I don't, now I understand why you're broken inside. So like, as an adult and a father, I try really hard. Like when I discuss a topic with Remington, for example, I'm like, so did you hear about this? And he'll say yes or no or whatever. And if he says yes, I'll be like, well, what did you hear? And he'll tell me whatever he hears. For example, they're back to school now. And one of his classes,
Jeez.
the first half of the class is now supposed to be watching CNN for current events.
No.
And I'm like, okay, well, what did you learn from CNN today? And he's like, well, not very much. Like, mostly they hate Trump and this. I'm like, okay, well, why were they saying they hate Trump this day? He's like, well, they really didn't have any details. I'm like, okay, well, do you remember anything? And he'll like give me a topic, and I'll rattle off both sides
Well.
because we're both trolls, right?
Yeah.
And inherent in our trollish nature, to understand and to argue a point, you have to be able to understand the other side as well. Because I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to start in this because it's part of the opening. But like, it doesn't really matter which side of an argument I'm on. I'm just going to argue with you, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of arguing with you.
Yeah. Well, okay, so when I shut down my Facebook for a week, I was on YouTube. I was just arguing with people on
Best
YouTube
week ever.
and Instagram and even Twitter. And I would pick fights with people that I agreed with just so I could argue with them because it's like it was something inside my brain that's just messed up that's like you're only going to be happy if that person is pissed off and or if that person is suffering, that's going to make you happy. And I'm just like, I tried to fight it, like I tried to resist it, but then I was just like, no, that guy didn't do a proper backflip, whatever. I don't know. He didn't do that right because you're supposed to do this instead of that, and he instead just did a backward somersault and like, just whatever, just stupid things like that. and it just wouldn't stop until I argued with someone and got them to yell at me.
Well, I
It
mean,
was
my point is that because we're like this, we have to argue. We often argue both sides of things. Even we'll argue for something we believe in, or we'll argue against something we believe in because we want to argue, and see if you really mean that. I know that's where I come from. A lot at the end of the day, it's like, do you really think this, or is this what you think you thought? And how well through have you thought through this point of view? Like, how committed are you to this? And if I start poking you, are you going to waffle? Are you going to see my point of view? Or
did you say waffle?
I did say waffle. Are you hungry?
Why?
I thought you just had dinner. Because waffle is like a thing that you do. You waffle on an opinion.
I've never heard that term.
You never waffled before?
No, like I've heard like teeter. Like, you're like, hey, this is my opinion. Maybe. But like waffle? No, whenever I think waffles, I just think of of food and like how they're better than pancakes because they have like little
because they have the little ridges, spots. Right, for stuff. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just the syrup cups.
Dirty waffles. Dirty girl. But hey, this is not
okay.
A
They're not cum pockets. They're syrup pockets. Wow, I shouldn't have said that.
Pockets. I said pockets full of tasty goodness. Captain Freudian slip.
Thumb. That's where you pick up the.
This is where it's not safe for kids anymore. I'm sorry, parents who want to listen with their kids and now have to have a 5-minute discussion on what that word is. Why are they making?
I said thumb.
Why are they laughing? They just said they wanted yum pancakes. Anyhow, welcome to Two Trolls in a Brew, episode 95. Drive safely. Subtitle: Missing Gen Con. So first of all, Travis, I know you're going to. You said you're leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
For GP Denver, so please drive safely. If you're listening to this podcast, hopefully, 1, you are laughing your balls off, and 2, you're not driving. That is my hope. Or if you are driving and listening to this podcast, I hope you got a lot of tissues on hand because this is going to be a ball-busting episode, I think. I'm going to laugh. I don't know if everyone else is going to laugh, but I'm going to laugh. The subtitle, Missing Gen Con. This is one of the best times of the year, is Gen Con time. And Travis just like turned the world on its head. So if you're Gen Con, which a lot of our local guys are up at Gen Con right now, I just want to give them all a shout out, and I hope they do well at their various games and things, and all the. I hope they meet all of their goals. There we go. That's appropriate way of saying getting some for the people who that's their only goal.
What, to get some?
Yeah, they go to Gen Con to get some. Like some people have to go to a place with their I don't want to say normal, but yeah, there you go. That hits their demographic on their head. And by a giant nerd, I mean nerd demographic. So like you can go there and be like, talk Klingon to a person of the opposite sex or whatever you're into, and they talk Klingon back to you, and you're like, let's go make some pon farr. And they're like, that's not even Klingon.
And then you're like, you're a single mom.
It's like, oh, this phaser's not set to stun. You're like, you better put a condom on that photon torpedo or it's not going anywhere near my hatch bay. And the next thing you know, your world's exploded. Troll cards this week. You have you have Hour of Promise and I have Overcome. I know both of these cards.
Yeah.
I know both these cards. Hour of Promise like goes and gets any 2 lands for 5 mana. And then if you have a bunch of deserts, you get some zombies.
Right. So we played a Chaos draft this week.
Okay. So Nightmare.
It was absolutely awful. And my first pack was Hour of Promise. And I knew that there was at least 6 Hour of Devastation packs going around because we had just ended the Sealed League, and one of the people who got prizes got 6 packs of Hour, and he's like, "Can I just turn that into store credit instead?" So the guy's like, "Yeah, sure." And then we're like, "You know what? We're gonna draft with your prize support."
Nice.
Yeah, so I decided to take it. And then there's actually a few times where instead of getting the desert, since I already had 2 in play, I just got 1 desert and then the temple that I drafted. So that way it's like after I got that, after I played Hour of Devastation, I got 2 zombies and then I scryed 1. I'm like, oh man, this card is so busted in Chaos.
Well, I don't know if it's only busted in Chaos, because I don't really give an S about Chaos drafting, but I know that it's a very good card. I've seen Conley has been playtesting like mad, essentially an Hour of Promise Ulamog deck that I think looks real good, and he's planning on going to the GP this weekend to compete in the GP. So hopefully he'll do well. But like I've seen lots of different lists actually that use this card, both as a way to make zombies, because you tap
Right.
out five mana to cast a spell, and you could just be totally shields down and just die that turn. So the option
Right.
of probably already having a desert, going digging up 2 more deserts, making 2 zombies should essentially get you a turn generally. Not always, but generally. So I don't know. It looks like a
Right.
good card just in general to me. So I actually, it's on my list of cards that I'd like to get a playset of to try, because I think it'll be very good. If not just now, but going forward for sure.
I have 3 of them.
Yeah, I think we found 1. So, but I'm not even 100% sure on that, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I like the card a lot. And the way that my standard deck is currently built, I wonder how easy it would be to adapt the mana base to include enough deserts to make them exciting. Specifically, not like in the Pacific Ocean, but directly, I would like to get the Renamap runes. I think would make some nice reach, but also the giant growth land, I think, would also be very good.
Yes.
So because the deck runs the Endbringer is not Endbringers. What's the 5/5 haste Eldrazi?
Reality Smasher.
Reality Smasher. Because I run the Reality Smashers, the possibility of jumping a Reality Smasher to an 8/8 or a 9/9, like with a Nissa activation, could very easily close out a game very quickly. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited to try it, give it a shot, and see what I think. Let's talk. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I actually, after playing with Hour, I had actually decided that I was going to try to make the mono green Stompy deck again, just because I forgot about it last month.
Right.
Yeah, but then I got distracted and I made the deck list that I sent you instead.
Yeah, we'll get to that pretty soon. To be fair, you
gotta zoom in on that because that's beautiful.
I don't know if I can zoom in too much. Actually, let's try.
I'm gonna take that and make it my
So
my profile picture.
For those of you who can't see this because you're listening to the podcast, I think 2 weeks ago, Travis.
No, it was last week.
Was it last week after the show? Travis was fiddling with the filters and just wearing a cat for a hat. Oh dear! I'll include it in the show notes if you're missing it. But I don't know, pretty funny. I want to talk. First of all, the meat of the show this week will actually involve this particular conversation, so I don't want to get too deep in it. But my card this week is Overrun, rebranded as a fixed Overrun called Overcome. Ooh. Gives all your creatures +2/+2 and trample for I think it's green, and 3, right?
When I say that word, it's like, ugh, blah, 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 not safe. When you say it, it's like, ooh, this is a card.
I also threw the word over in front of it as opposed to on my waffles.
I put like, pocket after it.
I'm pretty sure if you Google what you said and what I said, you'll either come up with a magic card or a link to Pornhub.
No, see, mine is just synonymous with dimples.
With dimples? Jesus. Oh, boy. So anyway, I guess we're just going to jump straight into story time with Overcome here. So I am one of those guys who's, I don't want to say superstitious, but kind of. And so, like, when we open a fresh box of packs to hand out for the draft each week, in my mind, one of the perks essentially of being in charge of preparing the drafts and doing all that work is that I kind of pick the packs that I want, right? Because I give myself my packs first and then I hand out packs to everybody else, or I make a pile and I let them pass them around or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So we were doing a Hour Devastation draft. So, and the piles I like is near the middle of the first row to the left side of a box, right? I'm just weird that way. So I reached in, I opened it up, I grabbed my 2 packs to the middle, I set it down on my table, I counted out the number of packs, and I put them down on the table for people to divvy up. And they kind of divvied into piles, and I started opening the next pack. And I did the same thing with my Almond Cat pack. I reached in the middle, grabbed my 1 Almond Cat pack, and put it down on my pile and counted out piles and threw them out there. Well, one of the players, Lawrence, this is important, Lawrence, was like, hey, I didn't get to pick my packs, because he was sitting down at the end. Like, well, I guess you should have sat closer to where I handed out packs. And he's like, well, there's nobody here. Why can't I just take whatever packs I want? I'm like, that's fine. You can take whatever packs you want as long as they're not mine. And I turned around to leave. And I saw him get up, and I turned around, and I watched him take my packs and replace my packs with his packs. And I was like, dude, did you just steal my packs? He's like, no, you said I could have whatever packs I wanted. I said, except for my packs. He's like, yeah, I didn't hear that part. So I'm like, yeah, you did. You did. You just stole my packs. You just stole my packs. So I handed out packs to the other table, and we came back and we started drafting. And my pack 1 was absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific, right? And I've been on this kick to like draft these fun decks for me. Not necessarily, I don't have to win the draft, but I want to have fun drafting. Right. And I was completely pissed off, and my head was really killing me, and it was super loud, and I was just like, fine, I'm going to win this draft. So I forget what my rare was. I think it was one of the lands. It was not one of the good lands. So I ended up first picking a Devotee of Strength. Okay. Right? So for those of you who are not familiar with the Devotee of Strength, he's a 3-mana 3/2 that for 5 mana you can give a creature +2/+2 till end of turn. It was okay.
Yeah,
right?
dude is busted.
It's a good first pick, but it's not great, right? Like if you were to open a pack, is that the card that you want to first pick? No, never. But it was fun. So then pack 2 comes over, and literally every card in there is trash. Every card, in my opinion, was absolute trash. So the best card in my pick 2, pack 1 pick was Harrier Naga. Mm-hmm. A 3-mana 3/3. And I was like, okay, I don't know what miracle it's going to take for me to do this, but I'll just be base green, and I'll splash whatever awesome thing I happen to find. Pick 3, baby. Overrun Junior. Like, yeah. I have a plan. Junior. I have a plan. So I drafted, like, Ronus's Stalwarts, Bitterbow Sharpshooters, I needed something to pair with it. And there wasn't really a whole lot floating around the table. I ended up getting one like Hope Tinder and one Initiate's Companion at the in the last pack. But no one was in black, right? So I'm like, well, you know what's good with Overrun? Scrounger of Souls, like lifelink dudes. They're good. So I'm like, I'll take this bad lifelink dude. So I ended up with 2 of those. And then I ended up with these, I'm like, man, you know what I really need? Some evasion. Hey, looky there. Black's got these 3/1 flyers for 4 mana. Seems fine. Fortunately, I ended up opening a Pride Sovereign pack 2. So that was my deck. My deck was essentially crap, Overrun, crap, Pride Sovereign. And then every removal spell I saw.
Yep.
Which turned out to actually be a bunch. I was actually really impressed with Lethal Sting. It's not been a card that's been very high on my radar. But for the low cost of putting a -1/-1 counter on your creature, you just kill theirs. Right?
Right.
It's sorcery speed, but you can usually deal with that. So in a world filled with like 3 4s and 2 2s that can't attack anyway, whatever, making them a 1/1 doesn't matter. So I ended up with 3 Lethal Stings, 3 Splendid Agony, aka 2-for-1 Lawrence, a Trial of Ambition, and a Desert of the No, that's not the other desert that either Deathlands or some S like that. Sacrifice a desert and kill a creature.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just like mono kill dudes and attack you with my really shitty guys until you died. Right? So I won the tournament, facing down Lawrence in the finals. Right? As God intended. Or Spaghetti Monster, whoever, whatever.
You got it on the second try. Good job.
Well, I mean, you can say whatever you want. I respect your decision to be wrong. But
well, I mean, okay, like the Spaghetti Monster clearly crafted the earth in his image. A flat piece of spaghetti.
Right, a flat piece of spaghetti?
Yeah.
On a turtle. Turtle.
It's like he put the plate of spaghetti on the back of a turtle and was like, there we go, created earth. And then the meatballs are obviously the 2 meatballs are the sun and the moon. That's science.
That is science. And then all the Parmesan cheese being shredded is what, the asteroid belt and the stars?
Well, yeah, it's all the stars. You know, they're farther away, so it's like smaller pieces of grated Parmesan, and then the ones that like actually make it into the atmosphere. Atmosphere, okay, yeah, that's the Parmesan that's making it to us.
Excellent. Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Sounds like an extra 5 hours at the gym is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Got to nip that stuff in the bud. So basically, Lawrence was playing a white-based like green deck kind of thing, because his pick 1 pack 1 was Angel of Commendation or Condemnation.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. The exile your stuff angel, and then proceeded to just take like all balmy flying angels and stuff, and then like 2 1s and 3 1s for 2. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is fun. 2-for-1
Yeah.
here, attack you for 2. I'm gonna play 2 more dudes. Okay. Kill your 2 dudes, attack you for 1. Okay. I'm gonna play my awesome bomb. Okay, I'm gonna put a -1/-1 counter on this dude over here. Kill your thing. Okay. Attack you for 1. I'm gonna play another bomb. Okay, I'm gonna put another -1/-1 creep on this other dude was joining to start to attack. Kill your dude. He literally picked up my graveyard at one point because it just seemed impossible to him. And he's like, he starts flipping through things. He's like, you literally played 5 removal spells, a 2/2, and a 2/3. I'm like, that's right, son. Attack. Yep. Attack for 2. And So then he sideboarded. I went to my sideboard, and my sideboard card was, I think, 2 more removal spells for him. So I sideboarded both of them in too. I had the give a flying creature like -1/-1, like 3 -1/-1s or whatever. I sideboarded in 2 of those. Just like kill all your dudes forever. Attack with my 1/1. 19 turns, mother trucker, you're dead. So it felt righteous. That's all I'm saying. Don't steal a man's packs. Or anyone's packs. Don't steal anyone's things in general. Yeah, there we go. So I want to get to the. Basically, we have 2 deck lists and this main talking point that I want to talk to you, because this was something I didn't understand.
Okay.
Is how Overcome or Overrun Junior made it to me in pack 3, or not pack 3, pick 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
How they got that far? And I was talking about it with a couple of guys, and I don't know what the contents of the previous 2 picks were. Right? So I don't know what other people were on. But I was just like, what rares do you possibly take over? Mythics I can see. Right? I don't remember either one of these guys having mythics, but they could have, and I just didn't see them. So I'm like, what rare do you possibly take over Overcome? So this is what we're going to do. I have all the rares pulled up from this set, and you're just going to tell me if you're going to take them over the spell.
Yeah, so Overcome gives them +3/+3 and Trample.
+2/+2 and Trample.
Okay.
+2/+2 and Trample.
All right.
So Abandoned Sarcophagus. You know what that card is. That was your troll card. Do you take that over pick 3, or sorry, pick 1, pack 1, or pick 2, pack 1? Right? So you've narrowed it down to whatever card we talk about and Overrun Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Abandoned Sarcophagus, Overrun Junior.
I'd go with the Sarcophagus just because I like graveyard shenanigans.
Okay. I disagree. I think that, and again, this is my argument just real fast for Overcome. Like, the green-based decks, especially in the first 3 picks, leaves you really open, right? Like, you can splash whatever you want. It breaks open a board stall like nobody's business, and it gives you an opportunity to basically attack for lethal out of nowhere, like in a racing situation, right?
True.
So for 5 mana, it gives you so many options. And I ended up using it at one point to like gain 10 life or die, right? So there's a lot of play with it. So that's my argument for as we're running down these cards. So when we do pick the other thing, I would like an argument of, yeah, this card over that, and these are the reasons why. Which you just did. You like graveyard shenanigans. Okay, Adorned Pouncer. That is the double strike 1/1 for 2 with Eternalize.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take that.
You would take the cat over the Overrun.
Yeah, because I was playing it in my sealed league, and that cat, I mean, early game, if they didn't handle it, it just beat the crap out of them, obviously. But like, I had my Grixis deck, and then I had a green-white one. And I played the Adorned Pouncer on turn 2. Then turn 3, I attacked with it, and they didn't block. And they were tapped out, and they didn't block. They're like, okay, it's a 1/1, whatever. I'm gonna get hit by 2. And I bumped it by 5. And they're like, oh, all right. Well, I guess I just take 12 on turn 3. So yeah, I would take the Pouncer and build around it.
Okay, I see that argument. From my point of view, again, I think it's easy to kill. There's so many spells that kill it, even at common, that come late. So I would skip it, but that's why we're doing this. Amit Eternal, the 5/5 for 3, inflict 3 whenever somebody casts a spell, it gets a -1/-1 counter, and then when it deals combat damage, remove all the 1/1 counters.
It's the 5/5 for 3?
Yeah, it's the 5/5 for 3.
Yeah, like, I mean, it'd be really hard to pass that simply because it's such a huge threat. And I don't know, like unless like pack one, I wouldn't be able to pass that. Like pack two, if I had already not been in that, then I would pass it.
Pick two.
Simply because
Pick
it's
two is what I'm saying. Pick two. Pick one. Pick two.
okay. So pick two.
Yeah.
If I had already chose overrun.
No, you picked like another. You picked like a different rare.
All right, let's say I picked the Adorn Pouncer, pick one,
Okay.
and then pick two. I had the Amit thingy,
Yeah.
or the overrun.
Right.
I would choose the overrun, simply because then I have a 4/4 with double strike.
Sure.
And trample.
I agree with your logic. I would definitely take the overrun over this. So the first card that I actually do see an argument for taking over the overrun is the Angel of Condemnation. I think the card's great. I think it does a lot of work. And in a void, I think the power level is probably a little stronger. But not by necessarily a bunch. You agree? Disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. Apocalypse Demon. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. During your upkeep, tap Apocalypse Demon unless you sacrifice another creature.
No.
I agree. Reason.
Like,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I would put it in a standard deck, just as a one of, and then try and fling at somebody.
Okay, so Reason Believe, that is the scry 3 and then use the thing to put a creature into play from the top of your battlefield or draw a card.
Yeah.
No,
I wouldn't pick that at all.
Okay. Bontu's Last Reckoning, so a Wrath.
No.
This is where my one rule comes into play. Every time
your board wipe thing?
I don't pass Wraths. If I can help it at all. Champion of Wits. So that's 2 cards so far I take over it.
Yeah, I would take it.
I would probably also take Champion of Wits. I think there's a lot of value to be had there. Leave Chance. That's
What's
like
that
you can self bounce a lot of permanents to your hand, and then you can like discard a card and draw a card. Like any number of cards and draw that many cards.
No.
Yeah, same. Chaos Maw.
Yes.
Yeah, I still say no.
It's
like,
It's a 7 mana 6/6 board wipe.
It is. I agree with that statement, but I still think I'd rather have the +2/+2 to all my dudes on turn 7. Than just try to win the game that turn. Instead of try to like take over after that point. Refuse Cooperate. I think that I don't know what all this does.
It's the one where that one. Okay, no,
Deals
I was thinking
damage to spell's controller equal to the spell's converted mana cost.
No, I wouldn't take that because it'll come back.
Yeah, that card's terrible. Driven Despair. This card I saw get a lot of play, actually. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample, and whenever it deals combat damage, draw a card.
Yeah.
And then the black side is basically they get menace and make you discard. I like this card. I like it a lot. I still think I take the overrun.
Yeah.
So far I'm at 2 cards and you're at 4 cards.
Right.
Dude with eyes wide open.
What?
We should call this guy Tom Cruise. It's like D Drew with eyes open. I don't know, he's like a 4/3 white dude with vigilance.
Oh, the one that gets a planeswalker?
Yeah, I don't even know what he does. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one's garbage.
Dream Stealer.
What's that one do?
It's a 1/2 menace guy. When it does combat damage, you discard as many cards as it does combat damage to you for.
No.
Like, he's good. I still don't think I take him. Grind to Dust. Let's see, what's Grind to Dust? Put a -1/-1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. And then the white half lets you exile any number of target creatures that have -1/-1 counters on them. This is a card I'd probably take over. It's 2 removal spells.
Right. Plus, and it says exile all creatures with neg counters on them.
Any number with -1/-1 counters. So you don't have to
that's
take your guys.
Right, and that's a huge board wipe too. Like if you're playing Hepatra or whatever.
Right. Like, this is a card that I can see an argument to take over the Overrun Junior. Earthshaker Kinra. That's the 2/1 haste one.
Yeah.
For 2. What do you think?
No, I would take that one.
You would take this, the Earthshaker Kinra?
Oh yeah.
You know, this is one of the cards that Remington or Riley, I can't remember, said that they would take over. I still think I disagree.
Dude, no, it's such a powerhouse in Limited.
It is.
In Standard.
It is. It's very good. But I can just kill it, and I can win before you can internalize.
Right, but, I mean, you can...
Especially with an overrun. Endless Sands. I ended up with one of these in my deck. It may have been the land that I opened in my first pick pack, and it tabled and came back to me, and I took it.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I did get a lot of work out of it. It was a good card, but it was not first pickable in my mind. Fraying Sanity. Oh, would you take it or no?
No.
Okay.
No, I
Fraying
wouldn't
Sanity.
take that land.
That's the mill card. The mill enchantment.
Oh, yeah. I would take that just because I like mill.
See, and I can see that argument, especially early on. So, I mean, I could see that depending on my mood. Like, if I was in the mood to mill somebody, I could do that, but most of the time I'd just rather kill you. God Pharaoh's Gift.
Oh, I would take that.
This is probably the clearest one so far. I would definitely take. We talked about Grind Dust. Hezzerit's Undying Fury.
Hell yeah, I would take that.
Yeah, after playing it in a draft, pass.
Well, then you built it wrong because I played it in a draft and it was awesome. And then I played it in Legacy and it was even better.
So I felt like my draft did okay. It was one of the ones that I did. I definitely felt like I did it wrong, but I only had 2 cards that didn't hit, and it was one of them. So, like, it did hit, but, like, I still ended up with, like, 2 hits and 2 lands. So, for me, it wasn't that good. So, yeah, I just, again, if I'm casting a 6-mana spell, I want to either do something really cool or 100% win the game. And I don't want to be building my deck on this back foot.
It was
Hollow
fun,
one,
though.
it is fun. It is fun. Hollow one, that's that 4/4.
Nah.
Okay, I agree. Hostile Desert.
Nah.
Yeah, same. Hour of Devastation.
Yee.
That's another Wrath, so definitely keep. Hour of Eternity.
What was my pick one?
The cat. That pouncing cat.
No, because if it was the cat, I can just get that back myself.
Okay.
And I'm already thinking...
I 100% take this Hour of Eternity. 100%. That card is the Cone Stole nuts. Come on, brain. Put the words and the syllables in the right order. Stone Cold Nuts. There we go. Hour of Glory. Shut up. The Hour
It's a good ice cream place.
I bet it is. Hour of Glory. That's just an efficient removal spell. Hour of Promise. I would take one because I need it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Hour of Revelation. Another Wrath rule. Agree.
What's that one, Wrath?
Destroys all non-land permanents for 6. White, and 3. And then it costs 3 less if there are 10 or more things. Imminent Doom. I tried to build around it in Limited. I didn't love it. Kefnith's Now Last Word. That's the
That's the
last.
steel thing, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
This one I may take. I have a prepolition for that 2/2 that regrows instants and sorceries out of my graveyard. And this is a sweet one to do that with. Mirror image or mirage image.
Not in limited.
I probably would. That artifact for 2 mana that becomes an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land on the turn. Like that's got enough flexibility. I'd probably steal it. Nimble Obstructionist, Stifle Bird.
Yes, I would take it.
I'm on the fence. It's really close.
Well, it just shuts down everything.
It can. It's efficient as well. Like it's a good threat. Like I said, I would have to see how I'm feeling, but that's a yes, it could. I don't know if I would, but I could. Nissa's Encouragement, sorcery that goes and gets a forest, some other shit, and a Nissa. Yeah, that card's not good.
What else?
You go get a card named Bramble Weft Behemoth and Nissa Genesis Mage. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle your library.
Psst. You want to know a secret?
What?
That's only out of the pre-con deck.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, that card seems terrible. That's like the worst card I ever read for a draft. Akira's Last White God's Last Mercy. We're just gonna skip the answer on that one.
No. Oh yeah, no, I'd take it. I played with it in. Hell yeah, I would. I played it in limited a couple weeks ago, and it was funny. Like I made this dude just almost rage quit because I reset my life 3 times.
I probably agree with you. Like I think it's good enough that, and it's got a swingy and enough ability that it would be worth it. It's right up there with like a one-sided Wrath. Pride Sovereign is a no-brainer. Take first. Renin Up Excavator. That's the creature Crucible of Worlds.
Crucible of Legs.
Yeah, what do you think? This guy?
Yes. Well, no. Well, yes, because let's just say I picked one of the deserts that sacrifices another desert in pack 1.
Well, again, then your first or second pick, so but yeah. Exactly. It opens you up to the possibility for an interesting build to me.
Right.
So I agree. Ran Up Hydra.
Yes.
See, this is where I disagree. I think this is just another shitty creature that, okay, let me rephrase that. It's just another good creature, but like it doesn't win you the game when you play it, like a Overrun Junior basically does almost every time. It doesn't literally every time, but almost every time.
Right.
So I would pass the Hydra for the thing. It's very that card for me, and this is my whole point. This Overrun card, it's like one of those mythic uncommons, I think, where it's like it's just so good. I have a hard time finding cards that I would take over it. Resilient Kinra. This is the giant growth Kinra.
Right. I wouldn't pick that one.
Ronus's Last Stand.
Yes.
I like this card too. I would try it and see if I can't do the regrowth trick on it. Like it seems close enough to me. Another desert that blows up to exile cards from graveyards, whatever. The artifact that says you can't put counters on shit, whatever. Swarm Intelligence. This one's actually like I can see an argument. I can see an argument for Swarm Intelligence. This was that draft that I took. The Hezret's thing. This was the only other hit or miss. You know what I mean?
See, if I was to open Swarm Intelligence in a draft, I would grab every single non-creature spell that I could.
Well, I
Every
did.
single one.
I did, and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It was fun. I didn't win. I went 2-2, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Torment of Hellfire.
Yes.
I hate this card. I think this card is a
I
trap.
love it.
I think it's just a
Yeah, and
massive
it's
trap.
a good trap.
You know, I've had people cast this against me numerous times. Sometimes for X equals 3, X equals 4. I had one guy cast it for 9. You know what I did?
Yeah.
I sacrificed some crap, I discarded some cards, and I killed him the next turn.
Right.
Like this card is a trap. This card is secretly bad.
That's why you only play it when they have no cards left in hand and you killed all their creatures.
Okay, so in that one situation, this card is great.
See, there you go.
Man. Is Viscillage a Bolus? That's got to be a special card, right?
Yeah, it's a special card.
Okay. Wildfire Internal.
I love that card.
I really like this guy. I could see an argument for this. However, they go great together. It's like peanut butter and my jelly.
Yee.
So, for me, there was what 6, maybe 7 rares that I would take over it, and for you, you had like two or three more.
Yeah, I'm up to like 10 or something.
Yeah, so I mean, that's my point. It's like this card is very good. So what the hell was in those packs that it came to me so late?
Right.
And then I played both of these guys, and they both lost to me. So clearly they were wrong. Let's get into your deck list that you sent.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is your deck list. I want to pull it up on the screen. Poodah! Tell us about this masterpiece of yours.
Okay. So I really love the Scorpion God. I think it's a really good god. So
that's the -1 counter god, right?
Right. And then draw a card when a creature with a -1 counter dies.
Sure. Deal.
So I was building a Rakdos, basically Rakdos control. And I only have one Scorpion God. That's why I only put one in the list. But it has 2 Glory Bringers because they're awesome. 1 Scarab God, 1 Locust God, or 1 Scorpion God, and 2 Locust Gods. And
that's an availability decision, right?
Right.
Okay.
If I would have had it, I would have taken 1 Glory Bringer out and put it in as another Scorpion God.
Okay.
And the reason being is the Scorpion God and the Locust God work incredibly well together.
Sure, they do.
So, instead of paying 4 to draw and discard a card with the Locust God, you can just kill one of the tokens that it makes for 3 mana and just draw a card and then make another dude.
Right. It's kind of like
so it's
like a really complicated and expensive. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of it now. Skull Clamp. There you go. It's a really expensive, not as good Skull Clamp. Okay, keep going.
Right, with 10 power and 8 toughness on the field, or 11, 9
Are
toughness,
these guys
whatever.
always on? I forget. Are they always on, or do they have a requirement?
Oh yeah, they're always on.
Okay.
It's just if they die, if they're not exiled, they go back to your hand at the next end step.
I remember. Yeah, they're okay. They're good.
Then I put in 3 Nicobolas, simply because if I'm already splashing blue for 3 creatures, I might as well splash blue for the god that they serve.
I gotcha.
Um,
this card is actually I played a guy who was splashing it, and Nicobolas actually did a bunch of work against me.
Oh yeah, he's
developing
insane.
a little bit more respect for Nicobolas.
And then I have 27 spells.
A bunch of removal spells is what it looks like.
And I think only 3 of them aren't removal. So I have 4 Fatal Push, 3 Magma Spray, and I put a 4th Magma Spray on the sideboard, and I did that simply because of the zombie decks that are, and that's just a local decision on my part.
Okay.
2 Abrades. Again, creature removal and Heart of Charon removal. Um, the Blur of Blades, because it puts a -1 counter on a creature, which will then help with the
Yeah,
Scorpion
it
God
opens up
later,
Scorpion God. Right.
and it deals 2 damage to them.
Sure.
2 Cathartic Reunion just for digging. 4 Lay Bare the Heart,
Now, is
just so
this
that
look at a hand, or is this kill a
yeah,
legend?
yeah, yeah. That's a look at the hand and make them discard a non-legendary
Okay, so
card.
it's the legendary Thoughtseize guy. Okay,
Right.
I gotcha.
Uh, and then 4 Downfall, which is either exile
Doomfall.
a non-land card from their hand or make them sacrifice a creature.
Okay. Yeah,
The 2
Doomfall.
Hungry Flames.
Dome
2
them,
Hungry
kill a
Flames.
guy.
Huh?
I said dome them, kill a guy.
Right. Right. And I put that in there simply because, like, if I'm going up against Planeswalkers, might as well hit their creature and the Planeswalker just to keep it down just a little bit.
Right, that's fair.
And then 3 Hour of Devastation, just because.
Right.
Like, duh.
Poor grass.
Yeah. And then 1 Painful Lesson. And I did that
That's the
again
instant speed
as
draw two, lose two.
uh well it's target player draws 2 and loses 2.
Okay.
And I did that simply because if I have them low enough and I don't have any creatures, I don't have a planeswalker, so I don't have any real answers, I can just kill them with a draw spell.
Sure. So there's a lot of things I like about this deck. There's a lot of things I, kind of dislike about this deck.
Right.
So like the first thing is I kind of want to, like, you're really heavy blue, or sorry, you're really heavy the other two, and you're splashing the blue for the few spells.
Right.
And it's fine, it's respectable. I would like to probably dip a little bit deeper in the blue, specifically for the Champion of Wits. I think it's right. The draw
Yeah.
2, discard 2, and then he eternalizes. Like, that guy seems really good, especially with a Scarab God potentially to help you out, or comboed with the Lotus God. Like, he feels probably better to me than the Glorybringer does. The Glorybringer's removal spell with legs, but this guy draws a bunch of cards with legs, so it seems good.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Also, like, if I'm going to be this crazy and, like, put in another blue spell, I'm kind of tempted to take this 1 Painful Lessons out and be like, well, I can probably get to double blue for 1 spell and run the fill my hand back up, pull from tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, pull from tomorrow or something.
Draw a bunch of cards and then discard 1.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I believe that when I'm ready to cast that spell, I'll probably have 2 blue.
Right.
And often I want to just be like, how many cards do you have? 3? Awesome. Into your turn, I'm going to go to 12. Or 8, or however, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Remember how I told you at game day, I stacked things weird? I did a pull for tomorrow for like 7, and then in response, I memoried with a blue Gearhulk to draw another 7. So I ended up drawing 14 that turn. Like, that's the kind of shenanigans that I feel like I want to be able to do in Constructed, and a card like Pull from Tomorrow is like the only way to make something like that go. But otherwise, I think this deck has got a lot of well thought out cards. I'm curious about how well Lay Bare the Heart works out instead of like a combination of like 2 of these and whatever the 1 mana. There's a 1 mana discard spell, I think, from the last block. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. I think it's from Aether Revolt. I'm pretty sure it's black. I'm pretty sure it costs 1 mana. Convert mana cost. And I'm pretty sure it's a sorcery. All right, Gather, don't do me wrong. And you did. Okay. So let's try one more time. Black. Just look for standard sorceries. Sort by converted mana cost. Go. Don't do me wrong, Gatherer.
Damn it, Riley, where are you?
Harsh Scrutiny, and it's from Kaladesh. Target opponent
Oh,
reveals his or her
yeah.
hand, choose a creature card from it. That player discards a card. Scry 1. Like, that card feels to me like a 2/2. Feels good.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad my 14 seconds to look into your deck may have given you another card.
Right.
So, awesome. We have one more deck list here that we can actually look at. Here we go. That's you again. No. Okay, oops, over here. I apologize for those of you who have to look at this white screen. If you're triggered, it's Travis's fault.
Yeah, because white people are bad.
That's
And
right.
meh.
We're all bad. So he's got this labeled as green red monsters, I think. And he put it on MTG Goldfish, a site that we love. So it'll be linked in the show notes, and I won't put this picture up. But apparently MTG Goldfish has decided it's okay to play ads with music in them. So
Yeah,
I can't
really loud and danceable.
very loud and danceable music. So sorry, guys. No, we can't go straight to MTG Goldfish. So 4 Chandler Initiates. That's Elvish Mystic that turns into a 3/4, then stops being useful. Your Earthshaker Kindra that we just talked about. Kindred Terrier. That's a 3/3 for 3 that gives all your dudes trample. Prowling Sherp Leopard. That's your Snake Kitty.
Yeah, the Shipperpard.
Ronus. He's the god that pumps guys. Hezerit. He's the guy that is expensive. Glorybringer. He's the removal spell dragon we've talked about. One Summit, a Voice of Dissent. I believe that's the Planeswalker version.
No, that's the creature.
Is that the creature? So that's the Flash guy with like 18,000 abilities on him.
Yeah, and I can tell he's the creature one because he's in the creature list.
Oh, jam. Good call. Way to be
Thinking
observant.
emoji entered here.
Spells, 3 Magma Spray, 3 Abrade, 2 Amnescade.
I love
That
that.
feels wrong to me.
I like the
2
card.
Keys to the City. I like the card a lot too. And then manas, and then the sideboard people can look at whenever. There's an instant it was my pick for Troll Card of the Week a couple of weeks ago. That it's a sorcery instead of an instant, but the creature just deals 1-sided damage, but also gets like vigilance and trample. It's got like a picture of a giant kitty on the front of it.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That card is very good. Amnescade is also very good. It also does 1-sided damage, if I remember right. And it's an instant for an extra mana, but that mana is huge.
Especially in an aggro deck.
Yeah, like that whole mana. Like, you want to turn 2 an Earthshaker or a Kindra or something, and turn 3 play your Prowling Sherp Leopard, and then turn 4 kill a guy and play another awesome thing.
Right.
And I feel like this extra mana from Ambuscade is just too much. The other thing is I actually, on the Magic Duels, I have 1 Key to the City and I have 1 Life Shaper's Bestiary.
Yes.
I would make that switch here. I don't own 2 of either of those cards on Magic Duels, but the 1-1, they work so well together. It's super good. Like, I'm going to stack my triggers, so I resolve my Bestiary first. And, I'm going to put this land to the bottom, and I'm going to draw a card with my Key to the City. Or, I like that card. Let's draw my card with the Key to the City because it's a 3-mana creature, and I have 5 mana now. You know, like, they just work well together. So, I don't know. I would suggest that. Otherwise, I think this deck looks like a lot of fun. The converted rarity is, I don't know, probably a rare. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 rares, or mythics. So yeah, it's expensive. Do you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions?
There's 11 rares that I see.
I'm not counting the numbers of the rares. I'm just counting the. Oh well, plus I guess there are lands.
Yeah, the lands.
There are
Duh,
rare lands.
nerd.
I don't care about them. Their lands. You should have the lands anyway if you're playing standard.
Nah.
Get the standard lands if you're playing standard. Just like you get the modern fetch lands if you're playing modern. But anyway, thank you for sending the deck, Nathan. I appreciate you. Anything else you want to add for this week's show? It is wow. We've already gone longer than I thought.
Yeah.
So you do have something you want to add?
No, I was just agreeing that we've gone pretty long.
All right, sweet. SamusGrobo.com for this and past episodes of the podcast. Send us an email to trollsbrew@gmail.com. Twitch.tv/SamusGrobo. Twitter.com/SamusGrobo. TurtlePower319 on Twitter for Travis. I didn't have a game. I figured we kind of played a game when we ran through the rare thing. Like our main discussion point was also a game, so
right.
However you want to wrap up the show, buddy.
I don't know. After I hung up on you the other day, how did you wrap up the show?
I basically made a O face for like a few seconds and then turned off the stream.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. They're all the same movie.
They are all the same movie.
Oh,
hey, real fast. Let's
okay.
Get your opinion on this movie. So I am a big fan of the first Kingsman movie. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Are you excited for this new one?
I didn't know that they were making another one.
I hate you so bad.
Oh, well, you know what they say. Peanut butter goes really good with bananas. Troll on, everybody.
Troll on, everybody.